I think teenagers are more wholesome nowadays than we used to be back in the day. Give me a cheer if you remember like the late 90s, early 2000s. Give me a cheer. Yeah, my people. So I think teenagers nowadays, they're all sort of making TikTok videos at home in their parents' living room. They're like trying to save the world from climate change. None of them drink or do drugs anymore. When I was a teenager, right, I spent most of my time down the local park, drinking cheap cider, sort of occasionally getting fingered. Has anyone ever been fingered before? What's your name, my love? What's your name? Come on. What's your name, my love? Come on. Sorry? Charlie. Have you ever been fingered before, Charlie? Yeah. Have you been fingered more than once? Oh my God, what a slag. Oh my God. Now, Charlie, do you remember the first time you got fingered? Did you enjoy it? No, we don't tend to enjoy the first time we get fingered. So the first time I got fingered, guys, it felt like the guy had just been to the salon to have his nails sharpened for the occasion. It felt like he was trying to carve his name into the walls of my vagina. But, do you know what I've been thinking recently? Maybe he did. Because, right, anytime I go to the gynecologist or I go for a smear test or anything like that, they're always giving me a really judgmental look. Because it actually probably says, Smithy was here inside me. You know, with one of those superhero S's that kids used to do in the 90s. Do you remember that? Anyway, right, Smithy was absolutely going to town. This guy was going for gold. No warm-up, absolutely no warm-up. I don't even think we looked at each other, let alone kissed. It was like, no warm-up. And honestly, right, it was going on forever. It was going on and on and on. It was going on and on. Have you guys seen the film Shawshank Redemption? You know how long it took Andy Dufresne to pick his way out of that prison? Honestly, it was going on and on and on, this thing. So it was going on for ages, and then eventually he stopped, right? But the thing is, I don't know how he knew when to stop, right? Because usually there's a sign, right? There's the orgasm, that's when you stop. I was silent for the entire thing. I actually think I stopped breathing at one point. Anyway, so we finish up, we sort of say our goodbyes, he rides off on his BMX. I sort of get myself together, trying not to bleed out internally. And I go to the shop to top up my phone to call my best friend to tell her the big news. I've been fingered, I'm a woman. So I told my best friend the news and she was absolutely thrilled for me. She was so chuffed. She was really happy for me because she'd never been fingered before. So she was super happy for me. And she had all these questions, right? She was going, oh my God, how was it? And honestly, no word of a lie, I was like, it was absolutely perfect. Didn't know any better, did I? Thought it was perfect, man. I feel like when you're that age, when you're a bit younger, all you talk about is your sexual encounters because they're so few and far between. So like all me and my friends would talk about was like who was shagging who'd given who head. And I remember, right, there was a rumour that went around my school that a boy called Joe had gotten a hand job on the Oblivion at Alton Towers. But apparently he came in his own face on the way down. Let's see. Imagine the key ring, guys. Imagine the key ring at the end. Like, even if that wasn't me, I'm getting that key ring at the end. I'm like, I'll get that one. Honestly, fucking mental stuff. What else am I going to tell you? I'll tell you this story. I was in a cab the other night, right? It's a midweek taxi, completely sober. So it's a midweek taxi. And I'm in the cab, and the taxi driver, who hasn't said a fucking thing for about 3 minutes, he said nothing. He turns around, right, and very softly and very quietly goes, will you sing to me? Like this. I'm not joking. He goes, will you sing to me? And I'm like, oh great, I'm never going to see my family again, am I? And I'm gutted as well, because I really like my family. And I was just like, I'm sat in the back of this taxi, and on the one hand, I'm thinking, I've got to get out of here. This guy's 100% going to murder me. Like, this is bad. And then on the other hand, I was thinking, I have never felt more seen in my entire life. So he really saw me.